صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار. ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته. ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah. Thank you, Brother Ishraq, for that beautiful recitation. Just quick reminder for the brothers that are sitting on the seats, if you are not elderly or injured, please come to the black mats and come as close as possible. Even the brothers that are sitting on the chairs, if we can come to the closer chairs just to create that environment, inshallah. And with that, I'd like to welcome Shaykh Mehdi Hazari for his final speech of this weekend with a loud salawat. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Thank you. الفاتحة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. نستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله صمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين الأبرار الميامين المظلومين المضطهدين. السلام عليك وعلى ولدك المظلوم أبي عبد الله الحسين. يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة، يا غريب يا مظلوم يا عطشان كربلاء، ما خاب والله من تمسك بكم، أمن من لجأ والتجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا فيا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أفتطمعون أن يؤمنوا لكم وقد كان فريق منهم يسمعون كلام الله ثم يحرفونه من بعد ما عقلوه وهم يعلمون. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. والسلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear brothers and sisters, first of all, let me begin by thanking Saba for giving me the honor and privilege to fly 3,000 miles away from my home, lose 3 hours of sleep every night, and come and commemorate with all of you. It's my distinct honor and my distinct pleasure. Thank you for welcoming me. My stomach thanks you for the pecan pie. Particularly Raza's sister and her mother. Where is she? She's right there. Thank you. It was really good. Very, very good. You want good pecan pie? You know who to ask now, all right? As well as I got a very nice keychain gift from a young fellow. I don't see him here, but if he's listening, thank you. I ask you to forgive any shortcomings, and I hope I can see all of you sometime soon, inshallah. Hopefully you come to North Carolina where the weather is much nicer than it is here in the Bay Area. This is going to be an express majlis because I have a midnight red-eye flight back to the East Coast tonight and work tomorrow morning. But just to finish and keeping it as simple as possible, we hear from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam that salawat ala Muhammadin wa It's reported, he says, إِنَّ أَمْرَنَا صَعْبٌ مُسْتَصْعَبٌ لا يتحمله إلا نبي مرسل أو ملك مقرب أو مؤمن امتحن الله قلبه للإيمان. Our Imam, he says, our mission, and I will translate the word Amr into mission, but in this case, Amr means what they stood for, what was their code, what legacy they left behind. The Imam, he says, it is very difficult. It's so difficult. Except for those who have the ability to bear and withstand how challenging it is. Like the Nabi, the Rasul, like those angels who Allah has chosen them to be directed on this path. And one third group, the believers who Allah has tested their hearts through Iman. He has made it such that they didn't just reach the lofty status they're in by chance. It's that they had constantly struggled and struggled and struggled and gone through difficulty and bala, such they got to there. My dears, difficulty in life, challenge in life, pain and suffering in life, we should not be afraid of it. And the more we run away from it, if we are true mu'min, Allah will make it chase after us and it will come eventually in front of our faces. We cannot be afraid of pain, of suffering, of trial, of difficulty, of calamity. We have to say, if it comes, we are ready. Nobody wishes for it. Nobody asks for it. Nobody says, Ya Allah, send calamity in my life. But we should have the mindset that when it comes, because indeed in the life of a believer, it's going to come. And the ayah of the Quran, you know, حَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Are the people who claim to be mu'min have the misconception that they're going to make that claim, that they say that they're mu'min and they're not going to be tested? No, you will be tested. You will be tested. So that test will come. What is the problem here? The problem is that we have built inside of our mind a cage. We have imprisoned ourselves by our own minds. And because I have been talking about the mind of insan for the last 3 nights, I will focus on this very briefly and I will end, inshallah. The mind of insan is so complex, and as I already said a few times, although it is the source of our greatest power, reasoning, cognition, ability to appraise the world in front of us, respond and react, grow, advance, evolve, all of these things, it is also singly the most dangerous thing that is inside of us if it is left uncontrolled. And because of it, you see what happens in life. My dears, what is one of the greatest discoveries that insan has made in the last 200 years? Antibiotics, right? Antibiotics. But today, antibiotics have become so strong, so potent, that they go in and they kill the bacteria that is causing the infection. But in the process of it being used, what also has it done? It's created antibiotic resistance, hasn't it? There is methicillin resistance, Staph aureus, all right? There are many different types of bacteria that have become resistant to the bacteria. Yes, our mind created this, but at the same time, we didn't estimate fully what could happen in nature around us. So many other examples, like the examples of physics and the use of physics as a tool, but unfortunately, it's also being used as a nuclear weapon. Is it not? Insan's mind is powerful and it can cause advancement, but at the same time, it can create consequences that are very negative. For the individual, that mind can become a prison if it is not dealt with properly. Why? Because we consider the circumstances in which we live to be absolutely restrictive on our own growth. We consider a particular difficulty to be the cause of us not becoming better, the cause of us not improving in our lives. And even worse, we justify not receiving what we want to receive or what we think we deserve in life because of this prison. We blame Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. for not giving us what we think we should have had, when all along it was all in our mind that we didn't actually need that thing, and that it was Allah who was protecting us. We view difficulty, we view challenge as this, and this is the legacy of the Ahl al-Bayt. The Ahl al-Bayt alayhim as-salatu was-salam, the Imams particularly, left behind this legacy, that prepare yourself, that life is challenging, it's difficult, but that in that moment of difficulty, you can find something beautiful. Look for it. Allow your mind to look for that beauty in that difficulty. And that's why when Sayyida Zainab, you all know this, مَا رَأَيْتُ إِلَّا جَمِيلًا. She saw only beauty in what was in front of her. They say that Harun al-Rashid, when he brought Imam Kadhim alayhi salatu wassalam up to Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Read the life of Abul Hasan, Musa ibn Ja'far. So difficult, so painful to read about his life. That when he was brought up to Iraq by Harun al-Rashid kept him in the prison. He sent a jailer and he said, put him in the most dark, the most dank, the most restricted prison you can find, such that there's no space even for him to move. Put him in this and watch him. He sends the jailer to keep an eye on Imam Kadhim. A month goes by. Harun al-Rashid instructs, he says, come back and give me updates. Tell me what is happening with Musa ibn Ja'far. The jailer doesn't come. After 1 month, Harun sends a messenger. He says, bring that jailer back to me. Call him. The jailer, he comes and stands in front of Harun al-Rashid. Harun al-Rashid, he says, what happened? I instructed you to come and tell me what is happening with Musa ibn Ja'far. What's his state? What is he saying? The jailer, he puts his hands in the air. He says, there's nothing to report. Harun al-Rashid, he says, is he complaining? Is he screaming? Is he shouting? Is he crying? What's he doing? He says, no. He says he fasts all day and he prays all night. He fasts all day and he prays all night. Harun, he says, is he saying anything? The jailer, he says, I hear him reciting one dua over and over. One dua over and over, I hear him reciting. Harun, he says, what is this dua? Is reported that Imam al-Kadhim alayhi salatu wassalam in the jail, he says, Rabbi ma ziltu as'aluka an tarzuqni zawiya a'tazil biha wa akhlu fiha litta'abbudi laka fi sukun wa rahatin bal washkurak li'annaka istajabta li wa a'taytani ma arat. Look at this dua. He is in the darkest of prisons, no light, no space. And hear the words of Imam Kadhim. He says, Rabbi ma ziltu as'aluka an tarzuqni zawiya. My Lord, I continuously and keep on asking you to just give me a small corner in which I can be secluded away from everybody and everything and be only with you. I had been asking you for this. Over and over I had been asking you for this. فَاسْتَجَبْتَ لِي. You answered me because all I wanted to do is be alone with you and worship you. You answered me, you put me into the prison. وَأَعْطَيْتَنِي مَا أَرَدْتَ. You gave me what you knew was best for me. Imam al-Kadhim, he turned that prison into Jannah for himself. Why? Because Allah is with him in that moment. Allah is present in his company. My dears, this is the power of imamat. And it is the power that gives you hope. I will tell you one more story and I will finish, inshallah. Imamat is that hope that in the darkest of prisons, the darkest of moments, you know that there is an imam standing there right by your side. Believe in it. Inculcate that into your children. Let them feel the love of imamat inside of them. Let them know and trust that Allah's wali is in the earth standing by them in the darkest of moments. And that the only prison, the only difficulty, the only challenge that exists may be the one that you have created inside of your own mind. That's why Amir al-Mu'mineen, in one of his advice to his sons, listen to what he says. He says, any trial, any difficulty, anything you perceive to be evil that eventually ends up taking you to Jannah is not a difficulty, and it's not evil, and it's not bad. Because why? It took you to Jannah. And any good, any ease, any comfort, anything you consider to be a blessing that eventually will take you to Nar Jahannam, it wasn't actually good for you. It wasn't a blessing. It wasn't a benefit in your life. You only framed it that way in your mind. This is us. And imamat is that hope that even through the fog of difficulty points to you that you can get to where you need to get. It is that undying hope that when the darkest moment, when the greatest oppression, when the greatest dhulm is standing there, know that your imam will be there to fight. He will be there to stand. And most importantly, he will be there to sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed to preserve Allah's religion. This is the legacy for us. So let me tell you one more story, one of my favorite stories, and I will finish. It is reported by a man who was in Hilla. He describes that I was on a boat going down the river. And as I'm going down the river, I'm traveling with my family members. These people are my family members. They are all together, and I'm sitting off by myself on this boat. They are all laughing, joking, as family members would do, brothers and cousins together, uncles. Everyone's laughing. I'm by myself. And we're traveling along. There are other people on the boat. The boat comes to the side of the bank of the river. We disembark from the boat, and everyone starts to walk to their destination, to their home. As I'm walking, a man comes near me, starts to walk near me, and he says to me that I saw a strange sight on the boat. You appear to be related to these people, but you weren't sitting near them. You weren't interacting with them. You seem to be alone, by yourself, secluded, lonely. You don't have anybody, even though clearly they look like they're your relatives. The young man, he says, yes. He says, these are my cousins, my uncles, my brothers, etc. But he says, they are of a different madhab. The man who was walking with him, he asked him, he says, what do you mean? How are you? How is this? He says, because I am on the madhab of my mother. They are the relatives, or they are from the side of my father. They have a different madhab. He says, I used to be on the madhab of my father, but something happened to me that I came to the side, to the madhab of my mother. The man walking nearby, he says, tell me, what is it that happened to you? The young man, he says, many, many years ago, when I was still following the madhab of my father's family, I had gone out on a caravan. When I went out, people take whatever they're going to sell, they put it on their camels, they put it on their horses, they carry it on their backs, they go and trade, and they come back. When we had gone out, we stopped in a ravine in the desert, an empty area. There's nothing there. It's a dark area of the desert. We stopped to rest. I moved off to the side for a little while to pray. It was getting dark. As it's getting dark, I finished my prayer. When I came back to where the caravan had set up, I realized everyone had left. They're gone. Now the darkness is coming into the desert. I go racing everywhere to see and find where is the caravan? Where are my traveling mates? Where are the people who I was with? I could not find anyone. I began to panic. I began to feel anxiety. I ran in this direction, I ran in that direction. I went every direction to look. I could not find anybody. Only darkness is setting in. And I start to feel afraid. I start to feel afraid because I can hear the animals, the wild animals, and all the negative thoughts start to come into my mind. That I'm going to get eaten, I'm going to get killed, I will die of thirst, something's going to happen to me. He says, right there and then, I start to call on the names of all the saints and all the people I know, the Sahaba and this person and that person, and I'm asking and I'm asking and I'm asking as much as I can, and nothing's happening. Suddenly, I remember my mother telling me, and I had never listened to my mother before. My mother is of a different madhab. I never listened to her. I heard her say, when you face a difficulty, say, Adrikni ya Aba Salih. Adrikni ya Aba Salih.
come and help me, Ya Aba Saleh. Ask in that name. I didn't know what it meant. I had no clue of its significance, but I fell on the ground. I raised my hands, tears in my eyes, and I said, Adrikni, Ya Aba Saleh. Adrikni, Ya Aba Saleh. He says, no sooner, this riwayah, this report is reported in several books. He says, I asked and I asked. Suddenly, I looked up and somebody is standing in front of me. The nur is on his face. He extends his arm out like this to me. I hold his hand. He picks me up, he pulls me up. And as he pulls me up, he takes me straight forward through one of the areas and pulls me. He just pulls me and keeps taking me forward until finally I can see the light, the fire from the torches of the people of my caravan. I can see them in the distance. And as I see that and I start to walk towards them, suddenly I wonder, where is he? Where has he gone? And when I look and see, he is nowhere to be found. I quickly run at that moment to think only about getting to the caravan. I race to them, join them, and I come back home. But as soon as I come back home, I start to remember who was this Aba Saleh who I had called on. And my heart was telling me only I wanted to see him again, one more time. So I went to one of the scholars who was of the madhab of my mother, and I asked him. He said, go to the ziyarah of Al-Hussein for 40 days. Go to the ziyarah of Al-Hussein for 40 days, one after the other, without missing, and Aba Saleh will come and meet you. He will come to you. He says, I did. I went the first day. I went the second day. I went the third day. I went the fourth day. I kept going every day, anticipating. The 39th day came, I went, and then the next day I was anticipating I am going to see. He's going to come and meet me. On the 40th day, I am taking the road to Karbala. As I come, the soldiers and the forces of the regime, of the government, who were not Shia, they were against the Ahl al-Bayt, they had blocked the road. Ya Allah. They had sealed off the road, they had put up a cordon, and nobody could get through. And now my heart sank, that the very objective I had was to get to the Darih of Al-Hussein so that Aba Saleh will come and see me. I came to the crowd that had lined up, that had gathered in front of this blockade, and I couldn't get through. There were so many hundreds of people trying to get to Al-Hussein. And I tried this side, and then I went to that side, and I tried to push my way through this gap. Nothing. Too many people, too many soldiers. Finally, I'm standing there. Somebody pulled my hand. Someone grabbed my arm and pulled me. And pulled me, I squeezed through the lines of people, and I made it such that now in front of me, I saw the Darih of Al-Hussein. I clutched that Darih, and I said, Ya Aba Abdullah, I have come. I have come. Now fulfill that promise and show me Aba Saleh. Where is he? I have come. I held that Darih and I prayed and I asked in the name of Abi Abdullah, Allah, bring me Aba Saleh, bring me Aba Saleh. Have him come and meet me. Have him come and hold my hand. Pull me to the light. Have him come and guide me and put his hand on my head and take me towards salvation. I held and I clutched and I held and I clutched, but he did not come. I left the grave. I started to go back to my village, feeling down that it didn't get fulfilled. I felt to myself that maybe I was not worthy. Maybe I was not good enough. But when I got back to my village, that scholar from the madhab of my mother came to see me. And when he came to see me, he asked, I told him what happened. And I told him of this great failure, that I had gone 40 days. I made it finally to the grave by some miracle, and yet Aba Saleh did not come and see me. He said, how did you get to the grave when nobody else was able to make it? I said to him, somebody came and pulled my hand and took me through. He says, do you not think that that was Aba Saleh? My dears, today, the Shia who stand, listen to the words. They say the hand of Aba Saleh is helping them. The hand of Aba Saleh is there defending them. The hand of Al-Muntazar the Qa'im, the Mehdi is there supporting them. And that is what we believe is the legacy of Imamat. And that is what we believe is what Imam Hussein died and perished for. He left this world. And that's why when we commemorate the nights of Muharram and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, we remember the legacy of Zayn al-Abidin. This Zayn al-Abidin who repeatedly will say, كيف أشرب وصبط رسول الله مات عطشانا. How will I drink? And the grandson of Rasulullah has died thirsty. And when the servant asked him that so many decades have gone by and you still weep for your father like it had happened yesterday, he says Yaqub alayhi salam had 12 sons. And when one of those sons was taken away from him, he lost his vision, his back became bent, his hair became white. Look at what happened to him. I lost 17 of my brothers and my cousins and my uncles all in 1 hour. I lost my father, Al-Hussein, whose head was severed in front of me. My dears, this Sajjad, when they bring him into Kufa, Muslim al-Jassas, what does he say? He says, I was putting plaster on the governor's building in Kufa when I heard that there was lots of commotion. And when I looked down and I asked the attendant, what is happening? The attendant, he said, they are bringing in the prisoners from one of the rebels who was just now killed by Amir al-Fasiqin Yazid. And when they bring them in, Muslim al-Jassas, he says, I looked down and I saw this Nurani face, this enlightened face, whose hands had been tied with ropes, whose neck had a chain on it, a chain and a lock on it that was connected to a number of women who were being taken prisoner behind him. And as they brought him into the Qasr al-Imara, into the governor's house, they say Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad is standing there. And that the head of Al-Hussein has been brought to him. And that the head has been brought to him. And that the Sabaya, that Ali as-Sajjad are standing there. And they are seeing the head of Al-Hussein on this platter in front of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, la'natullahi alayh. فأخذ عبيد الله بن زياد بالعصا وبدأ يضرب على شفتي الحسين. He took a stick, Ubaydullah, and he started hitting the face of Al-Hussein. He started to strike the lips of Al-Hussein until finally someone said to him, how dare you take this stick and hit the lips of Al-Hussein? فوالله لقد رأيت حبيبي رسول الله كان يقبل هاتين الشفتين. I saw Rasulullah kiss these very lips of Al-Hussein. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. Ask in the name of Fatima الزهراء. اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك ونقسم عليك بحق الزهراء وأبيها وبعلها وبنيها والسر المستودع فيها لعن الله ظالميها. اللهم شافي كل مريض، اللهم رد كل غريب، اللهم فك كل أسير، اللهم غير سوء حالنا بحسن حالك يا كريم. اللهم وفقنا لمراضيك وجنبنا معاصيك ثبت أقدامنا على صراطك المستقيم وخذ بأيدينا إليك يا أرحم الراحمين. وفرج عنا يا الله فرجا عاجلا قريبا كلمح البصر وهو أقرب من ذلك. وافرغ علينا صبرا وتوفنا مسلمين. والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. يا حسين
يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين يا حسين. Can all the brothers please move forward for the Mahatam? Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. O Imam Sajjad, 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 O Sajjad. The promise is revoked, it's time to leave here. The desert sand is soaked, your brother's blood here. The chains around your neck are covered in tears. O Imam Sajjad, 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 O Imam Sajjad. You saw your father killed, the just descendant, alone and without help, in thirst and torment. It's ringing in my head, the screams in his tent. O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad. You hear your nieces cry, the prophet's daughter. You gaze upon the sky, I want my father. They have nobody left, but now there's water. O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad. Prisoners Kufa bound, frail but walking, the bodies on the ground, a mother weeping, and nowhere can found those blood-stained earrings. O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad. The sun and the moon and stars that bow down upon that day when dark, there's no Hussein left, and you are their Imam in chains and held. O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad, O Imam Sajjad. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Take me to Karbala, leave me there. Hussein, why, Hussein, why, Hussein, why, Hussein, why. صلنا على محمد وآل محمد. الله. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا حبيب الله، السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحابه وعلى التسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله